Hi, my name is Stan and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share some of the samples to support the focus issues or image degradation claims I've experienced with my brand new Sony A7IV. This video comes as a follow-up of my initial video, which I allocated enough time to describe the symptoms of the issue. So if you haven't watched that video already, please take a few minutes to do that by clicking on the link that will appear in the upper right corner, your right, or one of the upper corners. And then come back to watch this one. It's been very interesting to see the reactions of people to my previous video where I did not include the samples in the video itself, which are more than fair because people do want to see proofs. All these reactions absolutely come with the joys of internet, so fully understand. However, I'm more genuinely intrigued in the people's desire to seek proof, seeking for validation of a claim, for authenticity, for truth. I think that I could do a great topic for people on the moral of the story, which I'd be keen to share more thoughts on, but as of now, this is out of scope for this video. Now, coming back to the subject of this video, you should have familiarized yourself with the issue description from my previous video. I want to mention that Sony did respond to my queries and did confirm they have identified an issue with the focusing engine on Sony A7IV platform, and they committed to fix that in a subsequent firmware release. My take, which is a complete hypothesis, is that their Sony R&D research and development team performed the focusing software testing while the A7IV was mounted in landscape mode, and thus they haven't potentially taken into account fully or factor in the implications of when the camera is in portrait mode. But again, that's just an assumption, a theory on my end, and since it hasn't been confirmed or there was no RCA root cause analysis data provided by Sony, this remains still an unknown issue in terms of what the culprit actually was to me. Let's go back to the computer and analyze the samples that support my experience with the brand new Sony A7IV. Should you make it till the end of the video, I've got something personal for you to wrap it up. Good. I'm now at my desk and we're going to look at some samples, all of them taken with the A7IV. So just looking here, I wanted to quickly show you the metadata information that the photos are all taken with the A7IV or the Sony Alpha 7 Mark IV, and all of them with the same lens. We only have landscapes and portraits in the same conditions, and you will see it in the time logged and saved into the meta file attributes of the photos. They are taking a few seconds apart, so not major differences at all. The same conditions, the same settings on the camera. The only change was landscape versus portrait. We're going to start comparing them side by side. Let's take one photo taken in landscape mode and we're going to compare it with one that's in portrait mode. We're going to click C on the keyboard. Because I've unlinked it first, I'm going to sync focus. Let's first go zoom in here as well. So let's do link focus. And now we can see the sharpness and the image quality. So on the left side we have the photo in landscape, as you can see it's in landscape, and on the right side we have it in portrait mode. You can see the shutter speed is the same, the ISO is the same, the aperture is the same, the lens is the same. Now let's look at the image quality. You can see the difference. Hopefully you should be able as well to see it in the video. It's a huge difference. Now let's take another one just in case to rule out any camera shake, although I have very steady hands. Also let's look at the time that this was taken, so less than 15 seconds apart. You can see here it's 14 seconds apart. This one was taken first and then this one was taken after 15 seconds apart. And now we're going to go back and choose another one to rule out any shaky hands. Let's choose another one, so I'm going to compare it now with number 4. So we're going to have to look at this one now, and then we can link it after, can sync it after, and then now link focus, and we can look at the difference in image quality So left side landscape, right side it's going to be portrait mode. So this one, it looks a bit better on the right side, but it's still a lot of image quality degradation. If you look, if I zoom in, it's a lot of image degradation on the right side compared with the landscape. Now we can choose another one in the landscape to make sure I'm giving you enough references. So let's choose this one. You can see now both in landscape comparing, but let me choose this one. So let's choose another one on the left side, and on the right side we're going to choose another one in landscape again. Let's try this one quickly. We might require re-linking the focus. Probably this is the best I could have cut, but it's still not tack sharp. So on the left side we have another one in landscape. On the right side we have another one in portrait, and again this is the best one I could have cut on the portrait, but it's still behind in terms of clarity. So if we zoom in and if you look at the eyes, it's completely missed on the focus compared with the landscape. So even here on the right eye, all of it is completely missed, and it looks like as if there is image degradation. Now I'm not sure if that's due to a missed focus or due to lens aberration correction missing, or image quality degradation. I'm completely unsure what's causing it. Now let's choose another one. Alright, let's choose another set to give you more data points. So when we look at this one, again the same settings. Yeah, there's a slight difference in the ISO, but the shutter speed is the same, the aperture setting is the same, the lenses are the same, camera is the same. So now we're going to quickly focus. We can clearly see the image degradation, the comparison, and it's a huge, almost day and night difference. Okay, if I zoom in, it's going to be even worse. You can see the difference, and let's use the full screen on this one. You can see the sharpness in here. Let me choose another photo. This one is a little bit better, but it's still having the same issue. The moment you zoom in, you realize the loss in image quality. So now, found two shots, both of them taken into portrait mode, but here's something interesting that I discovered while the subject was looking down, which was much easier to reproduce. On the left side, again, if we look at the time when those were taken, where they're taking, as I was shooting in continuous mode, those photos were taken at the same time. As you can see, they are taken within the same second. But here's something interesting to observe. On the left side, the camera focuses on the eyelashes, while on the right side is focusing on the eyebrows. So it's confusing the eyebrows with eyelashes, and it completely misses the eyelashes. If you can see the challenge that we have uncovered here, so that's one of the issues potentially. And an out of focus image will give you the impression of image degradation, or it could be multiple issues. It could be both image degradation and misfocusing or misfiring the focusing. So if we look here on the left side, we can see it has locked on the eyes. If we look on the right side, the Sony A7IV, it has locked actually on the eyebrows instead of the eyelashes, and it's actually focusing on the eyebrows. It could be that the software confuses the eyebrows with the eyelashes. Again, those two photos were taken in the same series, in the same second. The focus engine missed locking on the eyes. From the eyes it moved into the eyebrows. As you can see, out of the 11 photos I've got in here, 3 of them are taken in landscape. All 3 of them are focusing as expected. The eyes are tack sharp, and the image quality is on par with what I would expect from the sensor of the A7IV. And the rest 8 in portrait mode, not a single one of them is acceptable in terms of image quality. So out of 8 photos, not one of them can be used. That's my experience with the A7 IV. I really hope you found this useful, and if you have and you like this video, give us a thumbs up. That always helps, and if you haven't subscribed already, just click on that subscribe button. It's a free way that you can support this channel so that more educational videos like this one can be created. Let's conclude with the takeaways of today's video. We covered samples of shooting in both landscapes and portraits in the exact same lighting conditions, the same subject, the same background, the same lens, the same camera. Everything exactly, just the only difference, landscape versus portrait. Then we compared the image quality of 2 photos, one shot in landscape and one shot in portrait mode, side by side, and we concluded there is image degradation taking place when shooting in portrait mode versus landscape. Since I'm filming this in December, I'd like to wish you a happy Christmas, wherever you are. See you in the new year, and please use the comment sections to share what other topics you like more videos on. Would sharing what my workflow in Lightroom for portraits is be something of interest? Happy Christmas! See you in the new year!